Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons show! And I doubt that has the same impact since we don't have cameras.
It did for me.
The reason we don't have cameras is because we're practicing our social distancing because of the current world situation by playing remotely for tonight's session. So just please bear with our unusual layout and lack of cameras. That said, Nick, do you want to kick off some player introductions, and then I'll go into a couple more announcements and a recap, and we'll get started?
Sure. Hi, I am Nick. I play Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock, the Human Vengeance Paladin.
Hi, I'm Kay. I play Harmony, who is the Tiefling Wild Magic Sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Zant, who is a human fighter ranger.
Hello, I'm Melissa, and I play Mara, who is a human pirate rogue.
I love that you guys keep your order perfectly, as if we were going around a table, even though we're not actually at a table. That's wonderful.
We are in my head.
Yep. So, we premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items, as well as a custom wild magic table, so be aware of that as you're watching. Our music comes from BattleBards, TabletopAudio, and Incompetech, and our character portraits, which are on the screen, right, Nick?
Yes, they're on there.
Okay. Are they still in the top right corner?
They're kind of on the right side of the screen now.
All right, well.
Also, we don't have music this episode, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We don't.
Nick, are you streaming right now on Twitch?
I'm recording.
Oh, you're recording. Okay, got it.
We could have music if Ethan played it through his speakers.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would pick up on Nick's end, though, since he's doing the recording.
Your microphone.
Oh, that would probably get garbled and weird.
True.
Let's not have music this time.
We can always add it in the edit of the video.
This is true.
And I already have the title for this episode, Social Distancing.
It was the real villain all along.
Yeah, yeah. The big bad.
Anyways, our character portraits, which you will see on the info cards on the screen, were drawn by an artist named Carrie Peach, who goes by @CarrieDraws on Twitter. Other than that, you can check the video description for links and information to everything I just mentioned and more. And you can follow us on Twitter @AntiheroesAnon for more information about what we're doing and when and why we're doing it, and occasionally random funny content, stuff like that. Other than that, we just hope you enjoy the show, share it with your friends, and come back to watch more if you did. So, a recap as we jump into things. The Antiheroes are going after a night hag named Mother Midnight in her lair on Malbolg, the 6th layer of the Nine Hells. They narrowly escaped the first layer of the Nine Hells, a place called Avernus, after the Archduke of that layer of the Nine Hells, Zariel, hounded them in sort of a desperate pursuit of Isanahen's sword, an artifact that the party had picked up during their stay on the plane. They are now sailing down the River Styx under the navigation of a Yugoloth they hired named Orgrix to the 5th layer of the Nine Hells. They're effectively bypassing several of the layers by taking the Styx, where they have 3 tasks that they hope to complete. The first of which is to find the Ice Devil Bazith and annul his hold over the crew of the Sea Devil's Curse, which includes Mara's grandfather.
Hold on, Grandpa!
The second is to recover the long-lost shard of a pit fiend's heart to make good on a promise to their friend Sial. And the third is to link up with the army that Moloch, their fiendish friend for many episodes at this point, has left on the lair in preparation for their fight against Mother Midnight. So we pick up with the group of you on board the Drowning Kiss after a grueling battle against Zariel and her forces. The Drowning Kiss just barely managing to have tipped over the waterfall at the very edge of the plain of Avernus, plunging downward down the Styx. You found that once the boat tipped over the edge of the waterfall, gravity righted itself, so it was as if you were sailing normally along a river, and the plane behind you was instead the downward facing waterfall. However, all of that is drifting out of sight as essentially you are sailing along this waterfall that continues down into an endless black void, with the only frame of reference being the sort of the bedrock layers that form the base of Avernus, which is just sort of constantly, to one side of you. Other than that, you are surrounded entirely by void as the Yugoloth you hired steers the Drowning Kiss down the river Styx. And so that is where we pick up today's episode.
I sort of hope when we meet Bazith again that Thaddeus just jumps and starts bopping him and saying, annul the contract, annul the contract. Just starts hitting him.
Oh, I don't know about anyone else, but I need a long rest real bad.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt a lot.
Orgrix calls from his position at the steering wheel of the boat. He calls down to you and says, if you need to rest, you should have plenty of time. It'll take, at least 10, 12 hours to get down to the 5th layer.
Perfect. I don't want to think about anything else for 10 hours.
By the way, like I said, I don't want to know anything about you. I don't want to know your situation. I don't want to know anything like that. But I've been in a lot of Blood War battles on both sides of the conflict, and that was my first time in a conflict with an Archdevil, so thank you for that. Just please do not tell me why. And he just sort of puts his hood up, the devil horns protruding from it,
nice.
And keeps steering.
Is Orgrix at 1 HP?
Orgrix was not well off at the end of the last episode, but I think
he was at,
I
gave him a good berry, right? So he's at 1 HP. Okay, I'm gonna, because we're all taking a long rest, I'm assuming he's staying up. I'm gonna cast Healing Spirit and just have it sit on him for, the minute or whatever.
Okay.
To heal him a little bit.
Yeah, I think that would be enough to heal him up, if not to full, most of the way.
Sure. Do you want me to roll, or do you want to just assume?
We'll just assume.
Okay.
I forgot what I was going to say. Anyways, he seems thankful for that, but he's pretty focused on steering. And as the Styx has begun to sort of leave the plane of Avernus behind, you see that even though you're on a waterfall, the waterfall actually branches in a few places. And so, it'll split off into 2 or 3 different waterfalls that disappear off into the void. And he seems to unerringly know which branch he needs to take.
But from our perspective, these are just rivers, right? They're not
right.
Actual water. Okay, I see.
If not for the thing in the back of your head that says we are
going
currently
downwards?
Plunging downward, you would not really know that you were on a waterfall.
I see. Okay, got it.
So, not the vacation I would have chosen.
Mara has 1 scratch on her body, and that's it. Everyone else is charred.
Yeah.
The 1 scratch was pretty big, though.
Well, I'm gonna, if it's alright with you, DM, I'm gonna mark a long rest.
Okay. Do the entire group of you want to take a rest, or is someone going to? Are you going to set up a watch situation, or what's the plan?
I think we're all going to take a long rest. I'm assuming Orgrix will yell out to us.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has the navigation under control. That's not a problem. So it's just a matter of whether you want to play it safe or, I don't know, it's up to you. He said it would probably take 10, 12 hours, so even if you took it in shifts, there'd be enough for you guys to get a rest.
Okay, so I'm in pretty good shape. I'll stay up first.
Okay. Thaddeus is in terrible shape. He has 3 hit points, so he will go to sleep.
Yeah. I'm also going to go to sleep.
Okay. And I would bet that Harmony probably does too. So the group of you sort of go off to sleep, and Mara, you're the only one who is awake for at least the first chunk of the journey.
Okay.
During which point you witness essentially, as you traverse down this river, perpendicular to you, out of the void at some point, another landmass begins to appear. And this landmass is very different from the one you left behind, which was sort of that pockmarked, red, dusty landscape that was Avernus. But what you see is effectively a sprawling cityscape, the biggest city you've probably ever seen, many times larger than Farendale ever was. And you can see, despite the fact that you're at this incredible distance away from it, in the center of the city there is a vast, wicked-looking iron tower that sort of looms over the rest of the city, and even at this distance, somehow magically, you are able to perceive it as if it were close to you, and you sort of get this feeling as the Drowning Kiss is passing this layer entirely, that fortress is watching you. Something in that fortress itself, there's just this sort of like ominous, looming feeling that you feel as you pass by this layer of the Nine Hells.
How's the city compared to Sigil? Because I think that's probably the biggest city we've been in.
Good point. The difference, probably similar in scope, but the difference in this case is you can see more of it, I think, from your vantage point. Because this seems to cover as much space as like the entire layer of Avernus, except that from the way that you're positioned, you can see most of it, you know? Whereas with Sigil, you can only kind of see what is in your part of Taurus, right?
I see, yeah.
Okay. So I think I might go up to the crow's nest just so I can get a better view.
As you take your steps up to the crow's nest, you see that even though you change vantage point, it just seems like the tower is, like, even though it's very far away, it feels as if it is looming over you, and its shadow is being cast on you. But Ordrix just seems to have like started whistling as he's selecting paths down the river Styx, and soon that layer is left behind. And that probably took maybe 2 hours or so to get to that point. So that would be a good point to switch watch if that's something you want to do.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
I feel like it was like the Eye of Sauron watching you.
So who are you going to wake up?
Yeah, who do you wake up? That's the real question.
Well, let's see. Probably Zant. He's probably in the best shape. Come on, buddy. Wake up.
Man, I thought you'd break up
Grab his
Thaddeus.
boot. Shake his boot.
Alright. Hang on, give me a minute.
Boot, scoot, and boogie. Come on.
Alright. And so, I guess I'll ask, anything exciting happen? It seemed pretty quiet.
Yeah, and I tell him about the weird tower. If you go out now, you might just be able to glimpse it.
Alright, I'll take a look.
Unfortunately, at this point, all you're seeing is the sort of the bedrock of the layer that you've passed. So
I see. Okay, well, I don't know if I have anything I specifically want to do while I'm up. I guess I'll ask Orgrix a little bit about the path we're taking.
okay, I mean, what specifically?
Like, specifically, like, I guess get to know the Styx a little bit better. Like, how does this work? Like, you know, are we just passing through multiple layers right now? Or, like, how do you know where we're going? And
Effectively, we're descending a waterfall that passes the sides of the second, third, and fourth layers of the Nine Hells. You see all these branches? These all move to different locations within the Hells or other planes amongst the lower planes. No mere mortal could sail this ship correctly, unless, save for a very skilled few.
I see. How do you learn such a skill?
Well, for one like me, it sort of comes innately.
That must be nice.
Yes.
For a profession like yours.
I and those like me are the creations of a more powerful entity named Charon,
Who's that?
the ruler of Yugoloths like myself.
Do they live down here?
Well, down here and anywhere that the Styx is, to be frank. Charon himself is the master of the Styx. You could say that he is the equivalent of an archduke of a plane, except for of the Styx. Though the power comparison is a little unfair.
I see. Okay. And do you communicate with this Charon? Or like, do you need to receive some sort of permission or something to go through this lair or this plane?
No. The Yugoloths of my type, it is our birthright.
Oh, okay. I see. So I think I would just probably spend most of it maybe just chatting with Orgrix a little bit about the Styx. I figured that since he's passionate about it, that he'd be willing to talk about that at least without too much personal information.
He is willing to talk about sort of like plain facts of the universe.
Yeah.
But anytime it gets like personal,
he
backs off.
Yeah. Yeah. So I try and avoid anything like that.
Anytime you might offer even the tiniest little like
background information,
or like an anecdote about your experiences, he like plugs his ears, his non-existent ears. Right?
I think maybe depending on how the mood is, I might joke with him a little bit and like start like, "Hey, you want to see this? This is my personal thing," and then like start like talk about like my bow or something, and then watch him and then just be like, "Just kidding."
Yeah, I mean, like if you try and show him something, he like covers his eyes and takes his hand off the wheel, and it'll start to like drift towards a different branch of the section.
Yeah, so I might poke fun a little bit, but I wouldn't do anything like serious. I wouldn't actually try and cause any harm or anything. Otherwise, I try and learn a little bit about the nature of the Styx and how we're handling it and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of what he says doesn't really make sense because he'll talk about like how in order to get where you're going, you need to pass through or pass close to like other planes entirely. So he'll say something like, "This branch of the river Styx will take us close to Hades, but ultimately it leads down to Stygia, the fifth layer of the nine hells." And you're like, it's hard for your brain to sort of comprehend how like passing next to one plane brings you closer to He says stuff like that.
I would probably just take those things as like matter of fact and be like, okay, I believe you. Like, I have no reason to dispute that. But otherwise, I don't think I have anything specific I want to do. So maybe just take in the sights and kind of see if there's anything special going on or fancy or interesting as we're passing by.
The thing that you see during your watch is, like with Mara's watch, you pass by the next layer down, and what you see is, as opposed to the vast, sprawling cityscape that Mara described, you see this ominous, foreboding swamp, effectively, that just spans an entire plane. And you can see that there are places where this acidic rain is dropping down onto the landscape, or like sections of the swamp will be covered in these like horrible, twisted versions of trees that you would see on the material plane that like ooze blood, or like weird, hellish things like that.
Great.
And dotted throughout this vast swamp, you see what are effectively ruins, but they seem to be serving as cities that are receiving almost no upkeep whatsoever. But there's these like vast, almost as if they were like, the closest analogy would be giant architecture, because they are just incredibly massive, like almost cyclopean. Yeah, and then you would see that, and then eventually you're passing by the sort of foundations of that plane as well, and it's probably about time to wake someone else up.
Okay. Did anyone else volunteer for a watch? Or, I mean, Thaddeus is pretty hurt. Was Harmony also pretty hurt? We can't hear you if you're
talking. She's talking, but we cannot hear her.
Yeah, trying to.
I think she's trying to get herself ready to talk.
Still can't hear you.
Harmony's wild magic has triggered, and she's mute.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Well,
there
that's
we go.
fine. Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear. Okay. I was trying to plug headphones in, and I think maybe my computer thought there was a mic attached, but there isn't.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I just have to do this one without headphones. Anyway, yeah, I've only got 23 hit points left, so yeah, I'm pretty hurt too.
That was more than Thaddeus. I'll
But
probably, yeah.
yeah, either way.
I think I'd probably wake Harmony up. Maybe she'd be more interested in the hellscape that we're traveling through than Thaddeus.
Cool.
So I wake Harmony up and be like, "Hey, do you mind taking the next watch?"
No problem, I guess.
All right. It's kind of an
I'm glad
interesting
that
sight.
Harmony's gonna wake up bad.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, you might, I don't know, learn something if you sit here for a little bit. It's interesting.
yeah. Yeah, cool.
Okay. And I'll go back to my place, my room.
Mm. Okay, so I guess I'm taking watch.
As you sort of settle in to sort of, watch over your sleeping companions, Moloch, with his, tiny little form and crimson body with a few sort of scattered gold scales, he flutters up to you and kind of like finds a perch nearby you and eyes you, up and down a little bit and says, "So, that's one layer down. 2 more to go."
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting, but man, that was a lot.
Well, it's hell. It's literal, actual hell. So.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I meant to ask you something.
Yeah? What's up?
Do you know anything about that Discord guy? Or about the tieflings here in hell?
He
Seems really interested in me for some reason, and I don't know.
He thinks for a second and says, "About Discord, no, unfortunately I don't know much. It's been a long time since I was in the Hells. I was sort of banished out of here quite a while ago. So, for example, I didn't really know much about Zariel. Now I feel like I know far too much, but
Me too.
she was kind of after my time, and she's been in power for several hundred years, so that gives you a scope for how long it's been since I was here.
Mm-hmm.
About tieflings in the Hells, though, I know a little. There's all different kinds. You can find them on each layer. Basically, any time that a contract or a little bit of, has resulted in a mixing of devilish and mortal blood, you get a tiefling. And, there's tieflings for various different devils out there. I don't know, something about him seemed to have the same sort of thing that you've got going on, though, so I couldn't really tell you.
Like, magic thing?
Yeah, right? Like, the amulet thing, that was weird, right? That doesn't happen normally.
Yeah, well, the only other people that I've known that have the same thing going on as I do, as you put it, are my mother and my grandmother and my great-grandmother. I don't think I've ever met anyone outside of my family who has it.
Well, what do you think? Could he be a distant relative then, or?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. That's why I was hoping you could answer.
Unfortunately, I don't know much. Do you know where your tiefling blood stems back to?
The only stories that I've ever been told started with the Exodus. I don't really know anything before that.
Well, unfortunately, I can't really say. Like I said, tons of devils down here in the Hells have tiefling lineages tied to them. It's kind of hard to say. All I can say is that guy seemed crazy, and he'll definitely be back. Like, I don't think we've seen the last of him.
Unfortunately, I don't think so either. Hey, so when we telepathically communicated on the first layer, was that Zariel listening into us the whole time?
Yeah, probably.
And is that going to happen on every layer?
Quite possibly. Like I said before, not all archdevils have that level of power, but some do. Many
Right.
do. Probably most, so.
But hopefully the other archdevils aren't really going to have a bone to pick with us, right? You didn't make enemies we're not aware of, did you?
No, I think you know them all by now. But the good news is, for Stygia specifically, where we're going, the Archdevil is in a bit of a unique situation. Asmodeus actually, froze the sucker in a chunk of ice a long time ago as a punishment, and so, he can't even get out of there to hurt us. So, even if he wanted to.
This is the guy that we're looking for a piece of?
That was a pit fiend.
Okay. There are too many devils to keep track of.
Wow. How do you think we feel? All you mortal people? You all look the same.
That's not what I meant. I just meant a lot of devils to keep track of down here. A lot of people.
Literally a plane full of them.
Yeah. I'm one of you, kind of. Don't even...
I'm just messing with you, kid. You know I don't take offense.
I roll my eyes.
And he sort of pulls out... you remember that... Was it like a pearl that you cast spells into for him? Or like a gem? He pulls out that orb and he says, after you agreed to fill this thing up for me, look, as far as I'm concerned, you could... I don't know, you could spit in my face or whatever and I'd be fine. We're good.
I know. I pat him on the head.
And he kind of like winces to that and he's like, I'll let it slide. You don't usually do...
You just said I could do anything and we're good.
Look, I know. That's why I'm letting it slide, but like, normally anyone else, I'd kill that bitch.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna... Oh, keep going.
He just kind of like, he lets the silence go for a second, and then he says, do we have a plan for when we land? Because I was thinking I might, and I don't take this as me ditching, I was just thinking I might go rendezvous with my army as soon as we hit the 5th.
Well, I think, isn't that what our plan is too? Like...
Right, but Thaddeus got his agenda. There's a few other things on there, so...
Yeah, and I have to talk to him because I don't remember all the things we have to do down here.
Alright, well, I was just thinking I might, when we hit the 5th, go peace out, let you do your thing, and I will, rendezvous with my group, get them ready.
Right, I think that's a good idea.
He kind of shrugs and says, we can think about it, talk to your friends.
Yeah, I'll make sure everyone else is cool with it, but I think it's a good idea.
And he nods and just kind of like finds a perch on your shoulder then.
When the
It's a very familiar weight at this point.
Yeah. My shoulder or my horn, right? He likes to hang out on.
Yep.
If the conversation feels like it's over, I'm gonna pull out my ruby of sending.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna send a message to my mom.
Okay.
And I'm just going to ask her, how much do you know about the history of our family? I think I might have met a distant relative here in the Hells. He has our magic. I think that should fit.
Yeah, that should fit. The message you get back is... I know the same stories you do. The ones that my mother told me, that her mother told her. If you met someone with our magic, be careful.
Okay.
Could have used that advice before.
Well.
And I think sort of just tacked on at the end of the message, like several seconds later, would just be like, or don't, whatever.
Mom.
You said it was 12 or so hours of travel?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Alright, so I don't think we would need a fourth watch, right?
No, so I think...
Can I spend the rest of my watch reading my book?
Sure, yeah.
And
So you can
keep an eye out?
you can go ahead and mark, like, 3 more hours on that, I'd say,
Okay.
for your watch. How close are you to finishing that, by the way?
I'm at 18 out of 24. So I'll have 3 hours left after this.
I think you'll definitely hit that while you're in this layer, so that's good. So the thing that you would see as you're sort of casually, you're reading your book, but you glance up every now and again and sort of survey the scenery. You would see the 4th layer of the 9 hells come into view, and then eventually you'll pass it. But what you see is probably the closest landscape to Avernus so far, in that it is it's sort of like a very volcanic landscape. However, where Avernus was sort of all like red dust plains and things like that, this level of the hells seems to be like rocky, jagged, black rock crags covered in lava. It almost looks as if every square inch of this plane is volcanic in some capacity. And towards the center of the plane, it seems like all of the lava from the outsides of the plane pools inward to this like incredibly massive lake of lava in the center. And in the city, or in the lava lake itself, you can see this big like brass or bronze or copper city that just rises up out of the lava. And you get this sort of, like, even at this distance, you get this sense of like almost wonder and curiosity and excitement. This thrill that sort of drifts across the plane. And you can tell that like you just have this feeling that delights beyond your wildest imagine could exist within this city, and it just sort of, that feeling wafts all the way across to here where you are. And it just sort of fills you with that strange longing curiosity.
I'm gonna poke Moloch. See,
Yep. What's up?
what's the deal with that plane?
Well, that one, this will be the 4th, so that's Phlegethos. Interesting in terms of politics. Ruled by 2 archdukes, believe it or not. They share the seat. And that in the center, and he points to the city that you saw, that is Abiramok, capital of the plane. It's, I guess, what you would call resort for devils. I mean, you do well, you get rewarded, you go to Abiramok.
Does it look just like the pamphlet?
Yeah, actually. Astonishingly so. You pull up the pamphlet, it kind of looks just like it.
Why did we not get a pass for that one?
I mean, it doesn't look very comfortable, but man, I just feel like I have this feeling like it would be really fun to go there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's great. The thing is, if you're a devil, I mean, I don't know how it works for mortal people on the plane, but if you're a devil, at least, even if you're not, like, resistant to heat or whatever, you bathe in the lava of Abiramok, doesn't hurt, just feels great. It's,
That's crazy.
there's not many pleasures in the hells. This is one of them, for devils, at least. Anything you want to do, you can do it there.
I kind of want to go try it.
Moloch raises his eyebrows and says, I mean, I wouldn't say no to a stop off, but I also wouldn't mind, prioritizing the current mission and then going there to celebrate after we, destroy the stupid hag that ruined my life.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's our
There she
vacation
goes.
spot.
I mean, how long would it take to just go and just try?
Well, yeah, Can you cast teleport? Because you can see it, right? Take us there.
How far away is it?
I mean, it's in like the center of the plane. It's very far away, but you're
Are we
on the same
awake
plane
and
as it.
out there with her now?
Not at this point.
Okay.
I mean, I could cast it once, but I can't get back.
Lasso.
Well, probably best we stay here then.
Hey, but I've seen it, so I can teleport back to it anytime. As long
Exactly.
Wait, does going to different layers of the health count as changing planes? Like, I could teleport between layers of the health, could I?
You could. Yep.
Uh-huh.
But you'll only be able to go one up or one down.
I see. Huh. Interesting.
For example, you couldn't teleport from Avernus to Nessus or whatever. You'd have to go Avernus.
Dis.
Yeah, Dis. There you go. Thank you. I was blanking on it. Avernus, Dis, Minaros, Plegethos, etc., etc.
We're going to be on Studio, which is the 5th. I mean, we haven't done like a bath episode yet, have we?
Oh,
like
we did.
Episode?
Yeah,
we did.
We
Because
did.
there were those creatures.
Oh, you're right. We did.
Kitsune, yeah.
We did.
Yeah, the monkeys.
But that was in the main story, not in the epilogue.
Oh, do we need a beach episode?
Oh my god, a
I-
beach episode!
Episode in hell.
That got very loud for a
Yeah,
second.
that got weird.
Yeah,
A little
that
bit.
was weird.
Sorry, viewers.
Just very exciting.
I didn't hear anything, so it must have been my.
It was yours, but it's okay.
I'm sorry.
We forgive you.
I'll just.
Well, so Hunter did a hot spring episode, but Zant hasn't done a beach episode yet, so I still need that.
That's it.
You just want to see Mara in her outfit.
I'm not saying anything.
Confirmed.
Got it.
Yeah, but other than that, the trip down the Styx passes pretty uneventfully. Orgrix just kind of silently continues to steer you down one path of the waterfall or another. And eventually you pass the base foundations of this layer and are surrounded by void again, knowing that the next time you see a layer of the Nine Hells, you will be embarking there. And it's probably about time for everyone to wake up.
How can I wake everyone up?
That's the question, isn't it?
Uh-oh.
How many spells do you have at this point that emit some kind of loud sound within a 300-degree radius or a 300-foot radius?
I mean, I do have minor illusion. No, I'll wake Mara very gently. And I'll say, hey, I think we're almost there. Help me think to wake up Thaddeus and Zant.
Well, I have Pinky with me.
And Thaddeus hates Pinky.
So does Zant.
Yeah, we both have ill feelings towards Pinky, I think.
That's a great idea.
Okay, well, you think it's something.
Or-
You think it's something for Zant, and I'll talk to Pinky about going and waking up Daddy.
Great idea. Alright. I'm going to... My amulet gives me the, what is it? Shape water cantrip?
Uh-huh.
So I assume we have, like, some sort of drinking water on board.
Yeah, probably.
Just bring it like a water skin over. And I'm going to have it drip, like, very slowly onto Xanth's nose until you wake up.
You can
I don't think
accomplish that without a cantrip just by pouring it out very slowly.
No, but it's like a very, very, very timed, very, very precise.
Wait, does that mean you're coming into the room?
What room?
My room.
Oh,
Or wherever I'm sleeping.
Yeah, I guess that means I'm coming into your room.
Do I notice her before she does this? evil trick.
I would give Harmony a stealth check at advantage.
Okay.
All right, do it. See if you can beat Yako and Xan's passive perception. Good luck, Harmony.
She's sleeping. Okay. No, I was checking to see what the radius on Shape Water was, actually. But I don't know if I have that card.
I can look it up.
I don't know what Byako's passive Oh, I see it here. Okay. Alright, I know what it is.
Alright. Stealth check at advantage. +2, everybody. Here we go. I don't think I can beat their passive perception even if I try.
Do you want to know what the passive perception is?
Isn't it like 24 or something?
I don't know, maybe. What'd you get?
9. Oh, wait, no, I didn't roll at advantage.
Oh, yeah, roll one more.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Hey, that's 19.
Oh, that's so close.
Yeah, there's no way I can beat that.
You can't beat it.
That's why I'm like, that's weird because he's sleeping.
But
Alright, so
now
Zach,
the range on Shape Water is 30 feet.
You'd still have to like open the door though, I think. So
Yeah, I already rolled.
Harmony tries to stealthily open up the door. What happens, Zach?
So, I think that Byako would like raise his ear up and notice it was Harmony and kind of calm down and not do anything. She still didn't beat Xan's passive perception, so I think I would like notice her, but it'd be like, and just like kind of just like roll over and like not really care yet.
What's Xan's passive perception?
23.
Oh. Yeah, same.
But I'd probably just like, just shuffle into bed a little bit. I don't think I would do anything.
Then the plan commences.
Okay. So it doesn't take more than like a couple drips to be like, Harmony, stop! What are you doing?
Just be glad I didn't put it in your ear.
Harmony, it would have been better if I didn't catch you first. What are you doing?
You let this happen.
Alright. I'll remember this.
Hey, there are a lot of things that were a lot crueler that I could have done.
It's okay. That's okay.
Nice one, because I
No,
like...
no. Yeah, I'll do something nice too. Don't worry about it. And I'll get up.
It's time to get up. We're almost there.
Okay, thanks. So now that I have my face washed, I'll get my clothes on and stuff and get ready to go outside.
What's the plan with waking up Thaddeus?
Okay, so
Oh yeah.
so Thaddeus has this weird hand. Is it ultra sensitive or less sensitive than his normal hand?
I think maybe a little bit less because it's covered in scales.
Okay, great. So I'm going to send Pinky in there with all his little swarm to just swathe it and smother it until he wakes up.
Just covered in rats?
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, Thaddeus, I think you slowly come to consciousness
I'm glad I got Harmony's.
No.
with a swarm of
Okay.
cranium rats just sort of, nestling into your hand and then shifting position to let another one nestle in. Like at first, maybe you would think it's... I don't know what you might think it is, but like it takes a minute to realize what it is.
They're probably like pinching all the dead skin and the dead stuff off, kind of cleaning it up for you. It's like a mani.
This is worse than any description Ethan has given us of hell so far.
Are you serious? I did
Amazing.
the field of toenails?
That wasn't as bad as as describing the sensation of waking up to a rat smothering you.
Hey, I could have put them
like
somewhere. A lot of other places.
and biting the dead skin off of your hand.
The real hell was
This
the
is
one
horrible.
you created for yourself.
Yes.
I'm locking the door next time. Incredible.
I think Thaddeus, once he realizes what's going on, just like all of a sudden, is kind of half awake and kind of realizes. And you can hear it from many other parts of Giant Kiss.
Probably happens about the same time that Harmony wakes Santa up, and I'm sure we just start laughing.
Whoever is on deck with Orgrix just hears him say, "Whatever it is, I don't want to know what's happening."
Uh-oh!
Pulls his hood tight.
Uh-oh!
Ow.
Ow.
Okay, so we're all awake.
Yeah.
I give
Some
Mark a high five.
Some happier than others.
What a way to start the day.
So, like, I think that Zant and Thaddeus pass each other in the hallway then, and like Zant's just like it's just, his head's all wet. Thaddeus is like, ooh. And I'm like, we'll get him, Thaddeus. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Next sleep,
Yeah.
we'll get him.
Oh yeah, we'll get him.
Yeah, you guys are passing each other in the hall, and Moloch is just kind of like perched there because he was watching Harmony do the prank, and he just kind of looks at the two of you, and he's like, "You should team up."
Yeah. Keep going.
Hey, man, no fair.
And then he flies away, back to Harmony.
Yeah. Well, I'm following him back to Harmony, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Thad, I heard you screaming. Is everything okay?
I may have to have some words with Mara after this is over.
Okay, I
You should have seen it. It was really funny, boss. Best prank I've seen in a while.
I decided to lay low for a while, so I'm going to go to the galley and see about breakfast or food or whatever time it is.
While you're in there,
a long rest, by the way.
We did.
yes.
Okay.
While you were in there, would you do something for me, Mara? Roll a perception check.
What?
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed.
Plus 8. So not good. 13.
13?
Is that something you're
Let's
proficient in?
If only.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Wait,
Oh,
it is.
actually, I am. So it would be a 15 then.
It wouldn't be 18?
No, it'd be higher than that.
No,
right?
18. 18, because it's a 10.
Keep going.
plus.
Keep going. 20, 22.
10 plus proficiency.
30,
Yeah.
40.
Man, guys,
Yeah,
we
33.
just talked about this.
We don't have to roll. We don't even have to roll.
So what is it actually?
So it's actually an 18.
Okay.
So sorry.
You notice while you're in there that some of the like barrels and storage containers within this room seem to have been jostled or messed with a little bit. It just seems a little out of place.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay, so I will inspect them to see if anything's been taken.
A quick look makes it seem like nothing was taken. It looks like maybe so in one of the barrels that would hold like, I don't know, sacks of flour or something like that. It sort of looks, that might have been stacked neatly before. It sort of looks like they were all pulled out and then thrown back in sort of haphazardly, that sort of thing. Just the order of the room seems to have been disturbed.
Okay. Well,
Hold on, I need to turn on a light.
Okay.
so I have to think, does Mara do housekeeping or not? Okay.
Or
Yeah.
do you
Well,
just say someone else to do it?
she has a tendency to push work on something on other people, so I'm gonna say, Zan, come down here.
And
Oh, honey!
yeah, right. So I think after kind of talking with Thaddeus for a bit and like going on deck and like kind of looking around, I hear that and I'm like, all right, this is probably gonna be good.
Look at this stuff.
Yeah, it's great. What do you want?
Look, everything's just messed up.
Yeah, Zan,
So-
you might not be so familiar with the order of everything, so it might not be something you'd notice on your own, but when Mara points it out, she's got a point. Things are like
Does it look like
not
someone?
the way they should be here.
Does it look like someone's like looking for something and like didn't bother to put it back in place or something like that?
Possibly?
Okay. Can I do like an investigation to see if I can find or like
Yeah,
survival
sure.
or
Investigation, I think, would be the one.
okay. Do you want to help me, Mara?
Okay. I was going to
Okay.
start the pancakes, but I'll help you first.
That's a 18.
18. Rooting around in here, it definitely looks like, yeah, potentially someone was searching for something, but it doesn't look like anything was taken, and nothing was like thrown. Some care was taken, you know. It's not like they were trying to like destroy things to like root around in the barrels or whatever. You also find, as you're investigating, what would you find that could have been left there?
A clue. Fingerprints.
I think you find sort of tucked away in the back, amidst all of the barrels, as if it had been dropped there, you find a soul coin on the floor of the ship.
Oh, okay. Can I determine how long ago this happened? Do you want me to roll like survival? Or
I think it's just something that's a little hard to tell.
okay. So if I had a soul coin, so I'll pick it
because
up.
it's not like there's
how many do you
footprints
have?
or things like that.
I only have
I think
one.
I think this is 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll be like, well, this is here. This wasn't ours.
It's really weird. Wonder who was in here.
I wonder why they left this here.
It kind of looked with your check. It kind of looked like it was carelessly dropped, like it wasn't intentionally dropped.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
Maybe you should ask Orgrix if he knows anything about it. He's supposed to be. I mean, the ship was little. He's the only one besides us that were on the ship.
To our knowledge.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Unless we've got like a ghost hitchhiker or something.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past this ship.
Yeah.
Would it be
Can we
funny
hear
if the Skull Lord found his way on?
Ethan, as we were traveling through the Styx, could we hear the voices of like other captains and stuff?
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And because of that property of the Drowning Kiss, that you sort of hear the sounds of things that pass as you sail. What you hear mostly while you're on the River Styx, actually, it's sort of different from when you might be sailing on the material plane, because instead of hearing the sounds of past sailors on the river, what you hear, the sounds that drift up from the river to fill the vessel, is just the occasional sound of, almost as if it's like a memory being replayed. Like you will hear over bits of like everyday conversation, or you'll hear like the sound of like voices laughing or sort of like crying together, things like that.
Little moments in time.
Yeah, little moments in time, but it's like regular memories as opposed to what you would normally hear, which is sort of like the sounds of a crew being shouted at by a captain, or a naval skirmish or something like that.
Interesting. Okay, well, if the investigation's over, then I guess I'll look. Well, yeah, I can go ask, I guess, and then I'll head back up to the deck and ask Orgrix. Say, hey, were you rummaging around in the kitchen earlier?
Kind of turns those glowing eyes towards you, and says, "What, me? No, I've been steering this whole time. I'm getting kind of tired, actually. Do I get a break?"
Do you need a break?
Well, not immediately, but sometime.
That wasn't in our contract. I don't.
Kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "If I knew I wasn't going to get a break, I'd charge more."
I'm kidding, but I'm guessing that you can probably take a break once we get to Stygia. Is that okay?
Sure, sounds fair to me.
Okay. I'm guessing Mara can take over from there. I mean, Rat Queen can take over from there.
What are you upset about? They didn't go on you.
No,
This
this is the nickname thing.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the name was mentioned, like the fingers flew
He's
up
like,
the
"Ah!"
ears, but
Yeah. Okay.
kind of
Well,
too late at that point.
yeah, I'll believe him and just kind of ponder a little bit more about who could have been rummaging through our stuff. So,
I mean, you could roll an insight check if you want.
on Orgrix?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Sure. That's a 25.
25. Let's see. Yeah, best you can tell, he definitely wasn't rummaging through your stuff. Like, he seems to be honest about that.
Yeah, I figured he was. Okay, but I'll just reconvene with Thaddeus and Harmony. Maybe show him the soul coin bag. Someone left this on the ship.
Could come in handy.
And
Mara brings up food.
right on time.
Do we want to rewind to
Yeah.
because I think there was something you wanted to do that got sidetracked by that whole galley thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
But one before we start that,
So yeah, while Mara and Zant are making breakfast and investigating, Thaddeus and Harmony. Yep.
one technical question: does this technically count as dawn
Yes.
for the
So-
purpose of my item recharges?
For
That's a good
magic
point.
items,
Yep.
since there's like no actual dawn in hell, I think it's just anytime you take a long rest.
Okay.
I miss her so.
What?
And I miss her so much.
Dawn? Oh.
There is no dawn in the hells in many
Yeah.
senses of the word, I suppose.
Woohoo! Everything's recharged.
Nice.
Same. Oh, Ethan, is that flaw done with now? The one that we didn't really... We still have it?
Yep.
Okay.
Fun. We didn't have to roll again though when we were on the Styx.
You know, that's a good point. You would.
Do we have to roll?
We're kind of not on a layer.
Yeah,
We're
I
going
would
through a
say
bunch
that
of layers.
this one time, because you took a rest on the Styx instead of on an actual layer, you probably wouldn't. That's a good point. So, yeah, not this time.
So we don't have it.
No, you do,
Nope.
but we don't have to roll for a new one.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, geez, this is terrible. Okay. I don't like this place.
Indeed.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so I think Thaddeus is going to follow Moloch into Harmony's place.
Right.
And say,
I'm just on the deck watching hells go by.
yeah. So Moloch, would you excuse us, please?
He kind of looks down at Harmony.
I shrug.
All right, you're the boss. And he flies away.
So, about that bit during
That bit?
during the escape when it looked like Lulu was gone and I was out of commission.
Yeah, well, I mean, that happened a few times to all of us. I didn't know you had an item like I did, though.
An item like, what do you mean?
I show him the Magatama.
Oh,
I mean, technically was probably supposed to return this to the Elderhaven Reaches, but, I mean, it's so pretty.
yeah. Well,
Did you get it during the 5 years that we were apart?
no, I got it very recently. There was a price for that.
Well, everything has a price.
Well, this one I am going to have to pay to Glacia, the Archduke of what is it?
Malbol.
Malbold.
Wait a second. Back up. Start over from the beginning.
Right. So we were still at least 1,000 feet away from where we needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And Lulu was out of commission, and I was unconscious. And if that had continued for much longer, it's pretty possible that any number of Zariel's people or Zariel herself could have reached in and just ended me like that.
I mean, we had you. I had a plan.
This is gonna be so bad.
I had a plan. I had a contingency plan. I had spells. I had sorcery points. I was going to teleport us, and we each had good berries.
Well, but none of that actually happened.
Well, clearly, because you had something.
Right. So while I was unconscious, Glacia intervened and came to me and spoke to me and offered me a deal.
The Archduke of...
The Archduke of Malvolk.
Right.
And said that she could bring me back, and Lulu too, and then we would be able to fly on our way, and the original plan could continue.
You tell me you didn't make a deal with the devil.
I did.
Melissa, it'll be okay.
I don't want to look.
There is one rule about going into the hells. You don't make deals with devils. This is like Hell Travel 101. What were you thinking?
I was thinking about you. I was thinking about the rest of you. I thought that without me and Lulu, I thought there was no way you would ever get out alive.
That we would be fucked? Come on, Thaddeus, give us some credit.
I don't know. We'd just taken a pounding from that one tiefling. I didn't know how much he had left in him, and that was just one of them. And then
That was the kind of spell you only get to do once.
Mm.
It hurt, but I doubt he could have done that again.
And then there were the plains, and then there was Zariel herself and the fortress. It just seemed so stacked against us.
You're not wrong.
So I wanted to even the odds. I wanted to come back, and I wanted to bring Lulu with me to
But by
get us out
making
of
a
there
deal with
quickly.
another devil?
Well,
What did you promise her, Thaddeus?
here's the thing, and this is why I'm telling you this. After this is over, once Mother Midnight is defeated, I have to kill Moloch.
I slap him.
Can you reach his face?
Good question.
I can jump.
Mage Hand can reach his face.
Yes, I slap him with Mage Hand.
You conjure Mage Hand for the first time in the 9 Hells, and instead of a regular hand, it appears as like a skeletal hand.
I don't even notice.
You still slap him with it?
Have you been waiting for me to conjure Mage Hand?
Yes.
For like 9 episodes, we've been in hell and you've not used Mage
That's
Hand once.
amazing.
So instead of the satisfying smack you expect of raw arcane force smacking against Thaddeus' flesh, there's sort of like a rattle of bones.
I hope the finger just break off and fly away.
The pinky definitely does.
What's Harmony's strength?
Oh god. It's actually pretty good.
Oh.
+1.
Yeah.
12.
Is 12 is pretty good in your eyes?
I mean, it's better than like a negative modifier.
Alright, so 2 damage.
It's better than a negative modifier. I have proficiency in athletics, for what it's worth. Tell me that you're joking.
No, this is true.
I thought we were past this. Why would you do this to me?
Well, I mean, I haven't done
What
it.
has he done to you?
What?
He's only ever helped us.
He's only ever helped us. He's only ever helped us for his own reasons.
It doesn't matter what his reasons were. He hasn't asked any questions. He's followed us for more than 5 years now. He's stuck by my side. He's never laid a finger on you. He's never done anything to steer you wrong. What were you thinking?
I was thinking that maybe it would be a good time to get rid of a demonic influence over one of my good friends who can cast Wish.
So now you think that he's influencing me.
I'm sure of it.
Are you saying you think that Harmony is a interplanar threat? Because if only someone could have warned you.
Listen to what you're saying about this devil. That he's a good friend, that he's never steered us wrong, that he's only got our best interests in mind. This is what I'm talking about. That's how he gets us.
Do you remember what you thought when you first met me?
I have never forgotten it.
And how wrong you were?
I was proven wrong almost instantly then.
I'm not going to let you do this.
I didn't think you would.
And I hope that you don't fully intend to go through with that either.
You know what it means if I don't, right?
Look, I didn't want to have to pull this trump card out for you. I was hoping to save it for the crew of that ship, maybe. But I know a devil who's skilled with contracts.
It might come to that. I had an idea, and I don't know if it'll work because I don't know the precise nature of this deal or of my contract with Glacia, but I have an idea.
What?
If you can convince Moloch, and this is going to be hard because once he's ensconced in Malabolg, at the height of his power, he's not going to want to leave. If you can convince him to come back to us, to Allendal, I can kill him there, and he'll be fine.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. Because that might not be the deal you made with her.
That's what I would like to find out.
Ethan, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say Harmony would remember the devil Viltar, who owes you some contract help. Mm-hmm. He was a lawyer in the service of Glacia. So, something to consider.
We'll see which loyalty is stronger.
Yep. Just something to think about.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. I told you because I knew that you were probably the one person in the world who could stop me.
And what am I supposed to do?
There are any number of things you could do if you wanted to hurt me. So I just wanted to get out of the way.
Are you going to make me choose between you and Moloch? Because you know that's not a choice that I can make. Or rather, you know what my choice would be. At least I hope you do.
Well, I guess we'll find out if we can't figure out some loophole out of this.
I'm disappointed in you, Thaddy. I'm disappointed that you didn't trust us enough to trust that we could get through it without the help of an archdevil. And I walk away.
I'm gonna go say my prayers.
Okay. Harmony, you would rejoin Mara and Zant back on the deck of the ship, I think, and you would sort of find them talking about... they're like consuming pancakes and talking about the disturbance they found in the sort of kitchen cabin of the ship.
This seems to be the perfect opportunity for that paladin of our group to use his special skill to seek out fiends or whatever. If we think we have a stowaway.
That's an interesting thought. Where is that paladin that has that ability to find fiends?
You are asking the wrong tiefling.
Where's the right tiefling?
On your left. No.
I'll look left.
Moloch flutters up onto Harmony's horn, sort of rejoining her, and just says, I guess I'm going to his cabin. Looked upset.
The stowaway?
Oh, no, Thaddeus.
Just kidding.
But Thaddeus kind of always looks upset, or maybe that's just when I'm around. Either way, I don't know.
Okay.
Didn't look happy.
I'll wait for him to get back. It's not...
We could still have a stowaway, or...
I don't know, maybe.
What did you find?
And I'll pull up the soul coin and be like, well, they left this. Nice of them. Accidentally. But, otherwise, it doesn't look like anything was taken. So
Well, then I wonder what they were looking for. Do you think it could have been someone from Sigil?
Well, we
Open the
used to
door?
have the portal there, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they were looking for.
that's a good idea. The
Exactly.
other thing is that demon barrel thing still on the ship, strapped down?
Oh,
It's somewhere. I think it's in the hull of the ship.
Okay, so that wasn't taken. Yeah, it could have been a Sigil thing. That's true, because the portal was in the kitchen, wasn't it? That cabinet.
I forgot about
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
Hmm. In my investigation, did I check that cabinet?
Yeah, if you wanted to. You weren't holding the portal key though, so it just seemed like a regular cabinet when you opened it up.
Yeah,
Did
but
we have the key, or did we give it back? I can't remember.
we
I'm pretty
kept
sure one of you has it.
the
I think
mermaid
it's Thaddeus, maybe.
Thaddeus
scale
has
thing
it.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then maybe no one could have gotten through from Sigil. I thought maybe someone came from Sigil and then left, but maybe it was someone looking to get to Sigil.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Maybe. It's either nothing found or something left behind. They might have left behind something else too. I'm not sure.
Would the portal still have worked if the ship was really, really teeny?
That's what I was wondering. If a normal-sized person in Sigil went through the portal into the 1-inch tall ship, would they become like a quarter of an inch tall?
These are the questions that maybe we'll find out someday. Maybe we won't.
I want to know now. Dang it.
Too funny.
Harmony, send Seal and
I
ask
love
me
my
this
ship.
question. Ask them this question.
I think this is a question that can wait until we get to see Ciel again in person.
I think this is important.
I don't actually have a spell to do anything about this with, but I do want to, now that I have the sword, now that Thaddeus has the sword, to include in his prayers that morning.
Sorry. Sorry.
Some kind of plea for Isanahen to guide him in what she wants him to do with this thing.
Okay.
I can help. You didn't just make me an enemy.
Yeah.
roll a charisma check.
Okay.
A straight charisma check.
Uh, 16.
Okay. It's the same sort of thing as every morning when you've been in hell and preparing your morning prayers. It just feels like there's distance there that wasn't there before. You know that somehow Isanahen's power is still reaching you, but I mean, it just feels like there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
somehow.
Okay. Then I'll go and rejoin the rest of the group once I've done my meditation and prayers and had some time to clear the headspace a little bit.
Okay. All of you are up on the deck. Once all of you are sort of gathered around pancakes, which, since you're not technically in hell, don't taste like ash, which
I
is
was going to ask
fantastic.
about that.
I'm the best kick.
We
Great.
should eat all of our meals on the kiss.
What?
Um,
We should eat all of our meals on the kiss.
It's got that special secret ingredient.
We should have our meals in the void.
once all of you are gathered up, though, Moloch, perched from Harmony's horns, looks at Thaddeus and says, "So, let's talk about the agenda.
Yeah.
What's the plan?"
Well, there's really only 3 things we have to do here. One is we have to take care of your grandfather, Mara. Bazith is somewhere on this plane. And if we deal with him, one way or another, we can free the crew of the Sea Devil's Curse. 2 is that, if I'm remembering right, Mara, you have a debt that you need to pay here.
Yeah.
What was that again?
I have to flip a coin, I think, into the Styx, don't I?
That was back.
No, that was
No.
back in Avernus.
That's
yeah.
just
that was
a
a
summon.
minor favor that you were paying. This one's the major one.
Oh, was it about getting the shard?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I just wrote that down.
Wait, wasn't that Harmony's thing
Oh, was it?
for the arch? Yeah, for the robes.
Oh, okay. You're right. That was
Mara had the minor one to summon Mahadi and take Lulu, and then Harmony had the major one for her robes.
I just had repay Cial's favor. I'd forgotten all the details of this transaction.
I didn't realize this was my thing.
It's your thing.
This is your thing.
Your thing.
And then third, we need to find Malak's army and link up with them.
All right. Well,
but
I already told
that's
Harmony a little bit about that. But I was thinking I might just.
Right?
Where the army is? Yeah, I know where they are.
Right. So that part's easy.
Well, that brings us to Malak's idea that he had that we were talking about.
Right. Since I know you guys have a lot of things you need to do here before everything, and it takes a little while to mobilize an army and get them moving. I was thinking that once we land in Stygia, I would just kind of go link up with them and get the process started. And then once you guys are ready, you guys can message me. I know that Harmony can do that, and then we can reconnect and go from there.
If that leaves us throwing 2 agenda items, I'm all for it.
Okay.
I think it's a good plan.
Mullet kind of flashes an impish smile at Thaddeus and says, I think this is the first time we've ever agreed on something.
Probably the last.
He kind of shrugs his little wings.
I want to cry.
Zant will then ask Thaddeus, hey, we have a small indication that there might be a stowaway on the ship. Could you try and detect them?
Oh.
Your divine powers?
Sure. Thaddeus will go, I think he can probably cover the whole ship with a couple versions of divine sense, but he'll do that.
Yeah, I would at least say, well, we think they were in the kitchen too, so if that helps, conserve your abilities, I would show him.
It's a 60-foot radius?
Let me check, but I think that's correct. Divine sense, within 60 feet.
Okay.
So if I use that from the middle of the ship, that would cover most everything, right?
Yeah, pretty much, because it's not a huge ship.
No.
So, you extend out the divine senses, and you obviously sense the presence of a fiend in Moloch's direction. Mm-hmm. You sense the presence of a fiend in Orgrix's direction. The other things you would sense would be
Celestials, undead. That's it.
Okay. You don't sense anything else out of the ordinary. There's you'd feel like a celestial radiance from your sword, but it's not like a presence. It's just, there's a strong celestial connection there.
Yeah. Mm. Well, I guess Lulu's around. I'd probably sense her too.
Lulu, I think, would have gone back to whatever. She could have gone back to small elephant form, but it would be tough for her to ride the boat in mammoth form.
That's true. But she's still a celestial. I'd sense her presence.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Let me check something here.
Does the Styx emanate undead presence?
Nope.
Or something? Nothing special? Okay.
There is a more powerful version of this I can do. That's a spell, not just a class feature.
I didn't notice anything that would alarm us yet, so...
Maybe you only really searched the kitchen, though.
So. Yeah, I can search the rest. I guess I would ask Mara, but did you notice any disturbances elsewhere?
Well, we better go check.
Okay, let's go check. So we'll finish up breakfast. Or if we're already finished, and then maybe do a little sweep around.
Okay. So is it Mara and Zant doing the sweep? Okay.
Yeah,
then
primarily.
One of you can roll an investigation check at advantage.
What's yours?
You do it because mine's +0.
You don't have to roll for anything, and you get 20 plus, right? So.
Not on that.
Okay, let's see. That is pretty good. That's a 24.
24. Okay.
24.
You start in sort of the cabins where you sleep, and nothing really seems too disturbed there or anything like that. You make your way sort of across the deck, checking in barrels and all of that. Nothing, you get to the kitchen, you give that another once over. It's still just, the little disturbances that you found before. When you come to the hull of the ship, it's again, you start to notice these little things that are out of place. And so you start to focus more of your energy here, searching around. And in sort of the very back of the hole, behind like a big pile of supplies, you see just the tiniest little hint of a horn poking out from behind, all of those supplies.
Okay, I'm gonna gesture
Okay.
to Zant to be quiet and to point and look at it.
Okay. It's okay. I'm decent at stealth now. So I will try and sneak up on this thing.
Okay, roll a stealth check.
I will.
Well, good luck there, bud.
That's pretty good, actually. That's a 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you get the jump on this thing.
Yeah, great.
When you finally get enough of this creature within your, visual perspective to actually identify what it is, you see the shocked face of a tiefling. And this tiefling has, let me find my note, sort of teal skin with like pure white eyes with no pupils in there, and wavy black hair that hangs down loose around his head.
Yeah.
And he's not wearing like heavy armor, but you would recognize this as one of the heavily armored, heavily like weapon carrying companions of Discord who was on the airplane.
Okay. So when I sneak up on this tiefling, I would
And you just see the shocked face.
With the intention of grappling them immediately.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an athletics check. You can take advantage because you have sort of like a surprise.
Okay, great. That's a 27.
Okay. They only got a 20. So you definitely, do you grab them by the horns, or do you,
I think I would grab them by the arms, hold the arms up, so then they can't, get their weapons or anything.
Okay.
Okay, so Mara will wrap her whip around him.
Both of us? Thanks, Mara.
I mean, Zant is kind of entangled with this person right now. Do you want to wrap them both up? It'd be difficult to get just the tiefling.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm just going to do just the feet? I can't do just the feet.
You could definitely, if Zant, lifts
Yeah,
the
I could,
up,
I think I could, lift him back, and then you could get the feet. Sure, hog
Sure.
time or whatever, it's okay.
And he's struggling all the way, and he's like, no, wait, stop! Let me explain!
You can explain in a second!
Yeah.
Basically struggling and just repeating. When you say that, make an intimidation check.
Oh, I'm really not good at these. Can Mara intimidate them?
Let's see. Ooh, I'll try.
What's your intimidation? Mine's
scary.
Okay, sure, whatever. I've
never done this before, so it'll be kind of fun.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, go nuts.
17!
Hey, that's way better than I can do, probably.
The whip cracks, wrapping around the creature's legs, and it sort of crackles with lightning that singes the skin a little bit. And you see that brief moment of terror flash across the eyes before he complies and goes silent. But just sort of, as best as he can, grappled as he is trying to raise his hands and show
surrender.
No hostile intent. Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that is would arrive at the sounds of a struggle at this point.
That's fine.
To see what's going on.
Because I was intending to bring them on deck, but if everyone comes down to the hull, then
that might be better.
At that point, I would just bring him down and then bring his arms behind his back, just so he still can't do anything. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm more afraid of Mara than this tiefling right at this moment. So
yeah, he's got this sort of stony expression on, he's being compliant, but he's not afraid to the point where he's gonna take abuse or anything like that. He's got this a very stony expression on his face.
Okay, what's going on?
He kind of raises an eyebrow and points to his mouth.
What is that? Do I understand what that means? Like,
Can I
It's
talk
can
now?
I talk now?
Yeah.
yeah, you can talk now. Try anything funny though, and it'll be the last thing you do.
And everyone's down here?
Well,
Everyone's
we'll
here.
wait for Harmony.
She's here.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Because she's not at the webcam. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There she
Okay.
is.
I'm here.
Okay, she's here.
Okay.
Okay, you're down with us, right? Harmony, look what we caught.
Yeah. Who are you?
That is so racist.
No, what I meant is, you recognize him from the plane?
Which plane? We've been through several planes.
This is true.
Plane.
What's an airplane?
I know you viewers can't see it, but I'm shaking my head.
I knew there would be a stowaway, but I wasn't expecting you. What's your name?
He looks up into Harmony's eyes with a firm expression and just says, "My name's Passion."
Wait, you knew there was a stowaway?
I had a feeling. Like, where would they go? And the ship had been small for so long. I knew it had to have been someone from... Hello?
Hello.
I figured there'd be a stowaway.
Okay.
Well,
All
I'm
right. Well, what's
catching him.
going on?
What are you doing here, Passion? Did Discord send you? What do you want with us?
He shakes his head, and his black wavy hair, the curls kind of shake with it. And he says, "No, Discord doesn't know I'm here. I'm just here to talk."
Can I roll
know.
insight on this guy?
I am
Yeah,
also going to roll insight on this guy. Now
Roll
that
insight.
I'm good at insight.
I will also roll insight.
Okay.
I have advantage on insight checks now, right?
You do.
Oh.
Yep, because of the sword.
Yeah.
5 from
Five?
Harmony. Okay, Harmony. This guy is suspicious, as foretold.
I got a nat 20 turns into a 22.
Okay,
It's better than mine.
what did you get, Zant?
I got a 14.
Yeah.
14.
Thaddeus looks
Um,
at this tiefling with glowing eyes.
Zant, you're not fully convinced, but so far, I mean, he can't you've got him roped up and grappled, so he couldn't do too much from his current position.
Yeah.
Thaddeus, with the enhanced vision and clarity that the attunement to the Sword of Asanahen gives you, to make the correct judgments when you need to, you sense nothing but truth so far.
This sword is so badass. I love it.
He's being honest. Whatever he's here, it's not on Zariel's business.
All right. Go on, Passion. Tell us what's going on here.
What do you want?
When our war machine went down, I knew I had an opportunity. Discord, as much as Discord and I have been companions for a very long time, and as much as I, love him as a person, he's rash. He's brazen. He's overconfident, and he never thinks things through. Will never take the diplomatic approach. And I got one look at you, and I knew that was not going to work. I knew, or at least I trusted my instincts, that you wouldn't be the type to kill me on sight, and here we are. Just want to talk.
If this is about the sword, you're not getting it back.
It's not
No.
about the sword.
I don't care at all about the sword. That's Zariel's thing.
It's about me, isn't it?
It's very much about you. The sword, Zariel wants the sword because she believes it's the only thing that can help her fend off the current threat to the Hells. But the Hells can be damned for all I care. All I care about is Discord. And
So-
he's in danger.
Sorry, who's in danger?
Discord.
Why? And what does it have to do with me?
We thought that the situation was hopeless, that it was only a matter of time until we saw you. Well, until you came to the plane and Zariel detected you, really. We didn't think there was anyone else like Discord out there. I guess I should take things back to the beginning. There's a there's a story amongst our people. A long time ago, two mortals. I actually should pull up my notes for this, make sure I don't get anything wrong.
And I think once Thaddeus says that he's telling the truth, I probably like ease up a little bit on holding passion.
Okay. If you do that, he sort of like, with his hands raised to show surrender, reaches for his sword and unsheaths it and slides it across to you and says, "See? Not here to harm. You can hold on to that as long as you want."
His
I'll
feet
just-
are still bound, though.
Yeah, his feet are, but
Sure.
he can take his sword out of the sheath and like slide it
Yeah.
to you.
I'm just saying, I'm not gonna let him go yet.
Is he still teeny tiny? Or like what did happen there?
Wait, what?
Was he ever tiny? Or is he just a normal sized person? I'm very confused.
He's this big.
Okay. So
I was holding him with like four
so
fingers.
you're saying
like,
so
all right.
he's only a little bit taller than Harmony.
yes.
When
Yeah.
was this guy tiny?
But I was holding him with like this. My
He was never tiny.
I don't know why I thought he was tiny. I get in these moods sometimes and everyone never mind.
he's a normal sized like creature. He's maybe
Yeah,
like 5'9"
he's like
or
1 inch
something
tall.
Like that.
I think I
Like
just
normal.
had the portal on the brain for so long that I just assumed he was tiny.
Oh.
Well, the ship was small.
No, to give
I think
you-
we're
to give you-
no, hang on. I think we're just giant, Nick. He's normal. We're just huge.
I mean, Thaddeus, what's your strength?
19? No,
19?
18.
It looks like this guy's probably got bigger muscles than you.
Okay.
I mean, like
Fair.
he's pretty.
But
like,
he's only this
and tough
tall.
looking. Yeah, but he's only
Oh.
this tall.
Those muscles are like.
I want to
He's
hear
stacked.
this, you guys.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, go ahead. Yep.
I
Okay.
got distracted and stopped looking through my notes for the.
I also got distracted, but I love it.
I want harmony.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Breaking the drama.
That was so funny.
I need to search for something here.
We already had one tense moment. Now getting ready for another. We needed that little humorous break.
I am still looking through my notes. Hold on.
The tiny tiefling.
The teeny
There's only one tiny person, and that's me. Thank you very much.
His name is actually Thumbelina.
Problem is, I don't know which note it's in. Okay, we'll do it from memory.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Two mortals.
A long time ago, there were two mortals, and the story's a little unclear why they needed it, but they made a deal for incredible power with Asmodeus himself. And Asmodeus essentially connected their bloodline to the plane of limbo itself, this raw, chaotic creation and destruction, and imbued that bloodline with that power. The catch was, once per generation, one of the tieflings with that power was owed to Asmodeus for eternity. And for a long time, there was only a single bloodline that had this power. And I thought that was the case. We all thought that was the case until just recently, when Zariel detected your presence in Avernus. The time is fast approaching where we thought Discord would be owed to Asmodeus.
And now you want me to take his place.
I couldn't ask you to do that, but I could ask you to consider one thing. Discord doesn't have any children. His bloodline ends with him. And so we thought the pact would end with him. But if Discord is owed to Asmodeus and you don't help him in some way, next person down the line in your bloodline, I think, will be owed to Asmodeus. And he sort of leans back a bit and says, I just think we can work together.
Well, how are we supposed to get out of something like that? That's. I mean, that was
Discord,
centuries and millennia ago. Like a pact that strong.
he nods his head and says, I know, that's why I could never ask. I just know that until you arrived, we had no hope. And now that you're here, it seems like maybe there's something that can be done.
How am I supposed to do anything?
We weren't even planning to go to Nessus.
Like I said, we had resigned to the fact that Discord was going to be lost in the near future. And if that's still the case, it's still the case. I know that Discord will stop at nothing to try to drag you down to Nessus, and I'm just trying to offer an olive branch. Maybe there's something we can do. We don't even know what the fate of the tieflings that are surrendered to Asmodeus is. Whether he kills them, collects their souls, we don't know. All we know is that when a tiefling is surrendered to Asmodeus as part of this pact, that's it. They're gone. And I suppose there must have been a divergence in the bloodline, and maybe that's how you escaped.
My great-grandmother escaped.
And he nods and he says, well, she left a lot of us behind. And the price kept being paid. And Discord's next. And that's all he says.
Could another deal be struck?
Kind of raises the shoulders. It depends what Asmodeus is using the tieflings that are surrendered to him for. You'd probably have to offer something of greater value.
I have to think.
I wouldn't expect anything else. I was going to wait on board until the opportune moment to talk, and I suppose it kind of found me.
Now what for you?
Now what for me? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
He looks at the group of you and says, if I've judged your character right, and I'm usually a pretty good judge, you're not going to kill me. Maybe you don't let me go, but that's my ideal scenario, I suppose.
If we let you go and you go back to Discord, are you going to tell him to back off? If we agree to look for a way to help him.
I can try, but Discord is a lot like his master. There's not a lot of reasoning.
I'm still not sure what you're proposing here.
He's not doing anything. He's asking for help.
Yeah, but I
That's
don't
right.
know.
I'm not proposing anything. I'm pleading.
Yeah, I guess fine, but I still don't know what we could even do if we offered to even try, right?
Nobody knows.
Yeah. How long is a generation in this case? Is this like a human generation, or is it like hundreds of years?
He shakes his head and says, no, as in, a generation as in birth of a child.
A child from each. Yeah. From each generation.
Hmm. Well, I think if we were interested in this, the most prudent thing to do would be to figure out what is happening to these tieflings that are being offered. Right?
I was going to suggest scrying, but I don't guess there's a way we could scry down there.
I don't know. Never
crossed the plains, I don't think.
No.
I don't think we even know who we're scrying on. which is a big factor.
Asmodeus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to just try on Asmodeus? Let's give it a try.
Let's try it.
Or send a spy or something. Hey, we could send Pinky.
No.
Well, I mean, you guys want people out of the picture, right? The great way
Pinky to die. But yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't prepared to deal with this. I mean, we're going through what we need to do, and I thought that was it. I guess what I'm most curious about is if this sort of pact extends through past the Hells into, our world.
Deal with the devil is deal with the devil no matter where you are.
Yeah. So I guess it would be a danger regardless, right?
Yeah, Passion nods cautiously and says, I don't know if there's any precedent. Like I said, as far as the rest of us tieflings down here were concerned, Discord was going to be it. So...
Was Discord going to be the last? Is that what you were suggesting?
He doesn't have any descendants or anything like that, so we assumed the bloodline ended there.
I see.
But it doesn't.
But it doesn't.
And so maybe nothing comes to you, but years go down the line, you have I don't know your life, maybe if you have a child now, if you have one in the future, this could come for them. That's all I'm saying.
It's kind of what I was considering too. Well, if it's not one thing, it's another, huh?
Yeah, that's why I think maybe you're the generation that strikes a new deal.
Well, I mean, you're saying that like it's so easy.
I don't know. But if anybody could do it.
Let's table it for now.
Little bitty tiefling packed with power!
Passion, if I agree to think about it, will you agree to try to keep Discord away from us? To keep him from interfering in what we're doing here?
Yeah, he nods his head and says, I'll do my best. But you saw the man. He's a force of nature when he wants something.
Indeed.
But that also is contingent on you letting me go now that you've heard my spiel. And he kind of flashes a little bit of a smile and gives a little nervous chuckle and says, can that happen?
Well, we're not quite at Stygia yet, but I don't care what happens to you after we get there. As long as you're not on this ship anymore.
Fair enough. I think if it's all the same, I'll make my way back to Avernus and do my best to persuade Discord to leave you be for the meantime.
Then we have kind of a deal.
Okay. I don't need it in writing. I trust you. I can see the honest look in your eyes.
You wouldn't get it in writing anyway. I'm smarter than that.
Nods. And he sort of goes to try and stand up, but he's still got the whip on his legs.
Are you
Kind of
hungry?
looking at Mara.
I think there's some pancakes left.
Pancakes? What's a pancake?
Come on.
It's not a health food, so...
I lead him back into the kitchen.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely thoroughly enjoys pancakes. It's not something you ever get to eat in hell, so... but it's definitely very, like, tenuous. As he just kind of... He'd probably sit with you guys initially and then sort of separate himself a little bit as you guys, finish off the rest of your journey.
Well, I'd probably just leave him in Harmony's company in case they want to talk about anything else. I don't really have any...
I feel like I'd be asking him questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
About, like, what life is like for tieflings down here, and as much about Discord as he can tell me.
Right. Okay, so life for tieflings down here, when you ask about that, he shakes his head and says, well, it's not great. We're sort of like second-class citizens to the devils, I suppose. Really more like servants, objects of torture and punishment and that sort of thing. If
tried to get out.
Well, more difficult than that. But if you're lucky enough to prove yourself in one way or another, and kind of like flexes the muscle a little bit, like, for example, if you can swing a sword harder than anyone else and you can distinguish yourself on the front lines of the blood war, then you can claw your way up to a distinguished position. Or if a devil for some reason takes a shine to you, like Zariel did to Discord, then it's not so bad.
But it's still hell.
Otherwise, a lot of the devils down here kind of see you as, I don't know,
Lesser?
not only lesser, but there's a look they get in their eyes, a hungry look. They see us as sustenance in a way. We have souls that they can take advantage of. It's not great. But Discord, myself, and Ambition were privileged enough to be in the direct service of an Archduke, so that's not so bad.
Well, I'm glad you could find a way to enjoy it, but there are better places outside of the hell. My family and my tribe were able to escape.
Nods and says, I think that was a bit of a special case. Most of us don't get by without making a deal or two that binds us here. Just as a nature of living here. It's survival. Whatever happened with your ancestors, however they got out, there was some clever ploy involved. That just doesn't happen normally.
I don't know if it was a clever ploy or if it was just our special gift.
Kind of shrugs and says,
They never really told me that story.
Discord has a special gift, and Discord's parents had a special gift. They didn't get out.
Maybe they were the ones that started the pact.
That was a long time ago, though.
Yeah. Well, what about Discord? What about his family?
What about him? What do you want to know?
I mean, if we're distantly related, what's he like? What?
Passion gets sort of a glow in the face. And he kind of leans back and says, well, he's unbelievably powerful, as I'm sure you witnessed. He kind of flashes a sheepish smile. Devoted. When he has something in mind, it's single-minded, and it's inspiring to see him try to accomplish it. And, well, I mean, you've seen the magic he wields, but he's no slouch with a sword either. I certainly wouldn't want to... We've sparred several times, but I wouldn't want to face him in actual combat. He can get feral. We're very close. We've been friends for a long time.
Just friends.
There's a little bit of a smile, and shakes his head and says, no, not just friends.
Then he must not be a bad guy.
He's done a lot of bad things. I've helped him do a lot of bad things. But I don't think he would have done them if it weren't for how he was raised. In this place.
But he likes it where he is.
Like I said, being an Archduke's pet is a pretty good place to be for a tiefling in hell.
Then I guess I'll have to try and figure out a way to get him out of this deal.
That's all I came to ask.
Suddenly I come to hell and I've become the contract breaker.
He chuckles and says, you either become a contract breaker or a contract maker, so consider yourself fortunate you're on one side and not the other. And I think as this conversation is sort of winding down, you begin to see below you the void is vanishing and being replaced by an endless expanse of what looks like ocean water that is just covered, dotted everywhere with massive icebergs and ice flows and things like that. And as the drowning kiss sort of descends the waterfall, which just flows into the ocean, you notice that the river Styx itself, the sort of purple and brown and green waters of the river Styx, seem to flow into the ocean, but stay separate and meander across the surface of the vast water. And as the drowning kiss kind of descends the waterfall, reaching the surface of the Styx as it connects with Stygia itself, there's sort of a bumpy transition as it's almost like a right angle. But the drowning kiss alights on the 5th layer of the 9 hells, and I'll describe what you see next time.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! We made it!
Alright.
Thank you guys for playing. I have been waiting a long time to dive into the secrets behind Harmony's bloodline a little bit more. Kay, when you first created a character, you were like, I want some conflict with Asmodeus himself. And I was like, okay, sure. And here we go.
It's true.
Yep.
True. These were like, I was like, here's my character, here's the stuff you can work with. But
She's a heartbreaker, deal maker.
Oh boy. What did I sign up for? What did I sign us up for?
You certainly have some big choices to make. So thank you guys for playing. Thank you to anyone who watched. Sorry again about the setup. We'll be back to our regular setup as soon as we feel safe venturing out into the world.
Dangerous place out there.
Yep. But for now, we'll continue like this. So we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know why I'm waving.
Yeah, I'm like the only one not
It's like
waving.
habit.
Everyone else
It's
is
habit. Bye, Nick.
Bye.